Hey, hi, hello. This is Sarona from aforanalytics, and in this video, we're gonna look about what is calculation groups and how we can make use of calculation groups using Power BI with the help of Tableau editor. Stay tuned. Calculation groups. So, what is calculation groups? So, calculation group is something grouping a measure in a single component using Tableau editor. So, how we can combine two or three measures in a single element. For instance, so I have a very simple table here which has a month sales amount. So if you want to add a sales quantity, so I will drag and drop here in the values, so it will create a separate column. And if I want to measure, I will do like this. So let's say I want to I have written different calculations, by the way, different measures are have been there. So how about if I drag only single field in the column area, so that will create four different calculations, four different columns that will help our table without creating a separate calculations. Will that be awesome? Yes, that will be. So Tableau editor, the Tableau editor soon. Yeah. So if you cannot find Tableau editor, so you need to make sure you have installed the right version, Power BI version in your desktop, and also you need to install the Tableau editor in your local workspaces. So now, so I have connected with the Tableau editor now with a data model which is in this workbook. So when I go to the table, you can see the same fields, same tables are available in our workbook and as well as in the same area. So to create a Tableau sorry, to create a calculation groups, so we need to right click it, create a new calculation groups. So I'm going to name it as time, let's say for timetable, to make it simple. Yeah. So this timetable is a regular, this calculation group is a regular table like any other table, so it's gonna have several calculation items in it. So if you want to create a separate item, so I'm gonna create a separate item for so same period last year and as well as for the current year. So how we can dynamically loop in a DAX function inside another DAX function, so that we can have only one column with the four different values in it, four different columns in it. So I'm gonna add a separate calculation item. So I'm gonna add it as, let's say, same period, right? So I have a calculations here. So basically when you write a calculations in a DAX in Power BI desktop, so you will return something like this. You measure. Oh, okay. No, I don't want to save it. So I'm gonna create a separate measure in Power BI desktop. So when you create a separate measure, give me a sec. All right. Oops. Sum of sales. I think we don't need to add sum of sales amount, which because we already have aggregated it. So you need to write something like this, right? Yeah. So you need to mention a sales amount measure, and following by the function we need to use in the filter, following by the date. So what I'm gonna do is, so I'm gonna replace this expression with a scalar function available in Power BI. So what is it? Right. So okay, I'm gonna do it again. Calculation groups, time intelligence table. So when you expand it, so you will see calculation items. You need to create a calculation item. Same. Alright, so I'm going to replace this function, this expression with selected measure. Alright, so I don't need this, so I'm gonna formatted it. Alright, so I'm gonna create another calculation item that gonna say the current year sale. Perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna mention not gonna mention any DAX functions, so it's just gonna return a scalar function, selected measure or value. Alright, so I'm gonna save the changes to the connected databases. So in our cases, which is our data model connected in the Power BI workbook behind the scenes, so I'm gonna save it to that. So when I save it, you can see now a new table has been created on a separate table. So when you compare it, so the table name over here and the table name over here on Power BI desktop is same, and whatever changes we make in the Tableau editor will be reflected in Power BI workbook too. Alright, so I'm gonna remove all the things here now. Alright, so what I need is, so I need to pass this sales amount field to this selector measured area, and also in this selector measured area. So now when I use this sales amount in the values, so I will get a single thing. So if I use a column, this name, so this name is, it's a simple name, so it be available over here. You can rename it so as anything as you want. So when you drag and drop this name in the column, you see at the same period last year, this calculations same period last year has been calculated for this table over this month, for this month, and this selected measure has been replaced with a sales amount, because this is what it does. So you can have, or we can have n number of calculation items you want in this area. So let's say you want to do year over year percentage, YTD, MTD, QTD, whatever. So you can have a separate calculation items over here. So you just need to replace your main a main measure, replacing that with a selected measure. So this selected measure picks the value you passes from the data model in the workbook. So that will get it and calculate it based on the level of granularity in the Power BI workbook, so that so it can be very very simple. Yeah, so you see that we got two columns with just a one column in this. So we don't need to create n number of columns over here. So whenever we need to create, or to do some time calculations, time intelligence calculations, we need to do YTD, MTD, YOY, year over year percentage. You need to create a separate measures. So in these cases you can keep all the things in the tabular editor and make use of this calculation groups. And yeah, that's all from my side. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop your comments in the comment box. And if you see any other video which is better than this, please post it in the comments. And have a good day. See you. Bye.